Hi friends, in terms of economic development, here there are three categories of countries. First category is underdeveloping countries, second one is developing countries, and third one is developed countries. Where does India stand? India currently is a developing country which belongs to a lower middle income group. Here a question arises. Can India become a developed nation by 2047 as envisioned by Prime Minister Modi? My straightaway answer is yes, India can, provided India fulfills four determining criterions. What are the four determining criterions? First one is GDP total. Second one is GDP growth rate. Third one is GDP per capita income. And fourth one is human development index. I will take up one by one. At the outset, let me start with the first point. And first point is GDP total. What does GDP total shows? It shows market value of goods and services it provides. It indicates the level of national income. As regards India is concerned, currently India has $3.73 trillion. However, this amount is too less in view of the requirement. Requirement is too high. India needs minimum $30 trillion. This $30 trillion is almost 8 times more than the current one. You can imagine. However, to develop to the level of $30 trillion is not very easy one. No country has done so far this much within a span of 25 years only. Anyway, now let us see the second point. Second point is GDP growth rate. Since last 25 years, India has been growing at 6% GDP average. However, this 6% is not enough now for next 25 years if India has to go for a developed nation. Minimum India required is 8 to 9% rather than 6% for next 25 years. This is about the second point. Third one is per capita income. Per capita income shows how much a citizen earns in a year. It is calculated per capita income is calculated by dividing GDP by a number of people. Currently, India has only $2,600 trillion. This amount is very, very less. Therefore, India stands at 143 rank out of 195 countries, too high. Requirement how much? India has $2,600. How much requirement? Requirement is $15,000 minimum a country should have. Then only they can claim to be a developed country. See how much gap is there. Even if suppose India achieve $30 trillion, suppose, still India can only achieve per capita income is maximum 11,000. Still short of $4 trillion. Suppose. Now, I will give the example of China. China, you know, is the second largest economic country in the world. Second largest economy in the world. And how much per capita income it has? It has $21 trillion. But per capita income, total GDP is $21 trillion. Per capita income is less than 13,000. The requirement is 15,000. So China is also sort of 2 trillions. So China also belongs to the category of developing countries as India is. This is about the third category. Now let us see the final one. Final category is Human Development Index. What does it show? It shows general standard of people in education, health, security, economic equality, literacy, employment, and industrial and technical infrastructures. As regards India is concerned, currently India's world rank in Human Development Index is 132 out of 191 countries. See, far away. Requirement is minimum 0.8 HDI value figure, and India has only 0.633 point. See, big difference is there. Even if suppose India achieve 15,000 per capita income, still India much short of SDI points. So everywhere, all points India is lacking now. I will give you example of Qatar. Qatar is a Middle East country. Qatar has 62,000 per capita income. 62,000. India has only 2,600. Qatar has 62,000 per capita income. One of the highest in the world, but low, very less SDI project. As regards the Human Development Index, it is very less, despite one of the highest per capita income. Therefore, Qatar is also developing countries like India and China. In view of all such four determining criterions, India stands nowhere near the requirement for becoming a developed country by 2047. This is all about the retrospect of this topic. Now let us see the prospect, analysis on prospect. The first aspect is from 2023 to 2047. It is a 25 years duration, but it is less duration for a big task. So, it is unrealistic to set the target for India to become a developed nation in such a short span of time. Now, the second aspect is India was the fastest growing major economy in 2022 and 23, and same is the forecast for 2024. May even India overtake China by 2047. So, India's capacity to grow as a high quality of economic performance is inarguable. India may even emerge as economic superpower by the end of 21st century with GDP 90% larger than China and 30% larger than USA. This would be a fact. India's export is growing, very fast growing, to overcome deficit trade. Indian products are inroads to US market, replacing Chinese goods. This is also a fact. India's 50% population is below 25 years and 65% below 35 years. It is good for a young leadership to lead in the business in future. All are the prospect. But to become a developed nation by 2047, within 25 years only, it is altogether a very tough task. India needs not only accelerating growth rate, but also intensive growth, job intensive growth. One reason of India's per capita income is less. It is because of size of population like China and Brazil. All these three countries are developing countries. All these three countries have good amount of GDP trillions, but still they are less in per capita income because of more number of population in these three countries. Then India needs to address, in view of all such things, how India can develop. India needs to address poverty, economic inequality, unemployment, inflation, and increasing debt. Debt is also increasing almost equal to the GDP. In a current turbulent world in which USA and China are fighting for supremacy. India needs to take advantage in this situation, as China did it during Cold War between Soviet Union and USA. So here is retrospect first, then the prospects. This is the end of my video. Thank you, each and every one of you.